Good day, everyone. This is Sidney Fofe of SL Podcast. I'm very excited again today to be here doing what we like to do. When we are passionate about some things, we really do our best to always be there to do what we like doing. And educating people or sharing information is our number one passion. And that's why we are always here to relay information and to try to do our best to contribute to the world of knowledge. And today we are on another important topic which I'm excited about, and I know we are going to learn a lot from. We are talking about the secret of getting things done. We live in a dispensation where things are supposed to be better, and we are supposed to be doing far much better as human beings or as humanity, because we live in a dispensation where we are flooded with information. We are not short of information now. The things that we are supposed to know is out there for us to access. It is not like other ages. We know there are different ages. We're talking Stone Age, we're talking Industrial Age. Now we live in Information Age, where information is the thing that we trade with and the thing that is in our disposition, or it is available. We live in a time where we are supposed to be doing far much better, because if you want to know anything now, if you have a smartphone, you just go in there, you go to YouTube, and YouTube will tell you what you need to do. And if you want anything, any topic, if you want to research anything, you go to Google, and Google Scholar will tell you everything that you need to know, because the information is there at the tip of our fingers. And we are supposed to be doing far much better, because we used to say a lot about the people perishing because of lack of knowledge. Now we have information. Information is what gives us knowledge. Information is what brings us to understanding. We understand things because we have information about them. So now we live in a dispensation where information is all over. So for people to say, I don't know, it is really something that is not supposed to be happening in our dispensation now. So that's why we are actually saying, or we are arguing our case to say, even though now we have information, even though there is knowledge about a lot of things, and we are seeing and we are observing, or we are witnessing something which is a trend which is continuing, many people are still living below poverty line. And we can ask ourselves, if we have information, if what we used to say is a cause for people to perish or people to struggle is no longer the case. Literacy levels have gone high in almost every country, but we are still seeing people struggling, and we need to be asking ourselves a question now. Why are people struggling? We are seeing people with good inventions and good investments, people who are doing their best to have ideas, and their ideas are yielding very good yields. And we see people, young and old, who are becoming very wealthy over time. And we are seeing people who can make ends meet. And we really need to try to bridge the gap. We need to really ask ourselves questions to say, why are other people making it and while other people are struggling? And unfortunately, majority of us, majority of human beings or people are living below poverty line, which is something that we need to be asking ourselves questions about, to say, with the kind of information that we have, with the kind of knowledge that is available to us, why are we still struggling? What is the missing link now? Because we used to blame illiteracy, we used to blame lack of information, lack of knowledge to us perishing. But now we have information. We are taught almost in every platform, but people are still struggling. Majority of people are still struggling. And we need to try to answer these questions because they are pertinent to us. They are very important. And if we are not going to answer the questions, we are going to see that the struggles may continue. And we don't want to see people struggling. We don't want people to end up struggling until they die, while they can make changes. They can do some things which can bring improvement into their lives, and they can see their lives improve. It is very important. And we have different way that we start life. There are people who are privileged. There are people who are born in privileged environment. There are people who are born where there are systems. You are born and you are taken through a system with a definite role that you have to be playing when you are done with going through the system. Those are privileged people. Those are people who live with the resources. Those are people that we all envy, and those are the people that we really look to say, if we were people like that, we at least enjoy life a bit. And majority of us, we are born where there are no systems. We are born where you are just born, no plan, nothing. You are just there. But you still have to survive. You still need to make ends meet. You still need to make your life count. And what do we do in cases like that? The issue is, we have always talked about getting information, getting education, basic education, getting information, and we always talk about how education or going to school can transform us and give us a better life and a better future. That is very true, because we're talking information. The moment we get information and we are learned about some things, that will give us a leeway to exercise some things. You'll be qualified to do certain things. That's why information is important. But after we get information, there are still people who struggle. There are still people who can't get out of the struggles. There are people who still live below poverty line, even with the kind of information that we have, with the kind of schooling that we have gone through. And we need to be asking ourselves, what is wrong? Why are other people making it in life, even from the worst case scenarios, and they're still making it? And while the majority of people are struggling. These are the questions that we are going to be looking at today, or we are looking at today. That's how we are talking about the secret of getting things done. So after the introduction that we have just shared, we are definitely sure now that the most important thing, which is information and knowledge, which account for 50% of us getting things done, or being successful in life, that one is covered now because we are in the information age. The information is not a problem. And if the information is not a problem, then what is the problem? That is one of the most important things that we are going to be looking at today. If we know, because we know that our lives need to improve, we know for sure that we need to relate better. We know for sure that we need to live healthier lives. The information is not a problem. But are we able to improve our finances? Are we able to start up the things that we're supposed to start up? If we want to go into business, are we able to do that? If we want to live healthy lifestyles, are we able to make ourselves live healthy lifestyles? Because we know for sure, we know we need to exercise more, we need to eat better, we need to eat food which are healthy. So those are the things that we are well aware of. But can we do them so that we can get to the body shape that we want? We can do what we need to do so that we can live the lives that we wish for. Can we do that? And that is now the next thing that we'll be talking about, because the information is there. We have trainers, we have people, advisors out there. We have people who are talking and teaching that we can learn from. That one is not a problem. And our 50%, the 50% that account to us getting to success or to live lives that we want is already covered in information. The moment we have information about things, 50% of the work is done. Now we have the other 50%, which is crucial, which is very important, that we need to be looking into. And we are getting a quote from one of the important people, or the people who have contributed much to the world of knowledge. So who is Napoleon Hill? He says something so which we can learn from. He said the secret of getting things done is to act. The way to success is organized thinking followed by actions. Even though we know a lot about a lot of things and what we need to do about a lot of things, the missing link and the thing that is keeping us bound or chained into mediocrity and life of not enough is the fact that the information we have is not working for us because we are not doing what we are supposed to do. We are not acting on what we need to act on. We are talking the talk, but we are not walking the walk. So, and that is the remaining 50%, which is very critical. And that will tell us, or it is a very important thing, so that we need to really process. What we know, if we don't act on it, it is useless. The information that we have about anything is useless as long as we are not going to do anything about it. As long as we are not going to act on the information we have. If we want to improve our finances, for instance, we know about budget, we know about saving, we know about putting money aside, we know about all these things. And the missing link, the reason why most of the people don't have money is because they can't make themselves stick to the budget. It's as simple as that. Can we stick to the budget? Can we do what we need to do? Many of us, we know that for us to improve our lives, we need to have a side hustle. We need to increase our income somehow. We know, but can we make ourselves do that? And if we don't do it, we are actually sentencing ourselves to fail. That's why we are talking about 80% failure rate. People who live ordinary lives and defeated lives. We're talking 80% failure rate of the global human race. And 20% are the people that are controlling everything. And we are scaling it down to say around 5% are the people who are really, really, really making it in life. So, and we really need to be aware that we need to wake up from our slumber and realize that we know a lot, but we are acting on nothing. And as long as we know a lot and we are acting on nothing, our stories are never going to change. We have to make ourselves do what is necessary. We need to put action to everything we are saying. That is one of the very important things that we are talking about today, to say, can we make ourselves do what we need to do? Can we get things done? Can we put things aside so that we can improve our finances? And those are some of the things that we'll be talking about. We'll be saying, that's why we make resolutions every beginning of the year, to say, I want to achieve 1, 2, 3. But before long, we throw those things away because we just can't make ourselves do what we need to do. And as long as we cannot make ourselves do what we need to do, we can't get things done. We can't be the best version of ourselves. If you can make yourself wake up in the morning to start off your day with reading, getting your mind ready for that particular day. As long as we can't commit to the things that can improve us, we can't get any kind of improvement. Our lives are going to be the same. And unfortunately, a lot of us, we are caught up in some things, which before long, we are going to realize that we have destroyed our future by trying to do some of the other things that we do when we are young, and we are caught up in this pleasure thing, following the things that are making us happy while we are destroying our future. We are going to have more years of suffering and struggles. And we are going to even forget that we once enjoyed life. Because the only thing that will be left will be memories, will be photos showing you that you went to such and such a place. But the struggle will make you forget all those things. Because if we don't make ourselves do what we need to do, we need to build, as much as we have to be taking time out to enjoy ourselves a little bit and all that, we still need to be building for the future again, so that our future can be a little bit comfortable. We need to be balancing everything. But unfortunately, a lot of us, we are out of control. We just can't balance anything. And we are going to realize when we reach a certain age that I didn't do what I needed to do. And the struggle will be too much and unbearable. And now you will think life is not fair. While the time you were supposed to have made yourself do what was necessary, you just flew with the flow. And we really need to be cognizant of everything that we are doing. We have information. We need to be making ourselves do stuff. If we need to be cutting on some things so that we can spend some money so that we can buy cement and start building our twin house and all those things, we need to make ourselves do that. Because if we don't do that, we are never going to build houses. If we don't do that, we are never going to see our improvements in anything. If we don't do what we need to do, we are never going to start businesses. We are never going to grow our businesses. We are never going to do anything worthwhile. And we'll be looking at other people and becoming envious, as if they're taking anything away from you. They're just living their lives and they're forcing themselves to do what they need to do at that particular time. That's why their lives are improving. And we really need to understand that the information now is not a problem. The knowledge is not a problem. But do we put action? Do we act on what we know so that we can see our lives change and improve? And if we are going to do that, we are definitely going to see ourselves live the lives that we wish for. Like I said when I was starting, there are people who are privileged. Those ones, we really respect them. We respect how life is treating them. They are born in structures. And that's how they found themselves. Because all of us, we don't choose where we are born, and we don't choose all those things. If you are born a prince, you are born a prince. If you are born a princess, you are born a princess. But most of us, majority of us, are born ordinary. And those are the people that I need to now put a structure on their personal lives so that they can see things happen and they can see changes, which are very important to happen, and they can make their life count. It is very important. And we are concluding by saying we need to be learning, which is very critical. And we said that learning or getting information accounts for the 50% of the success that we desire. So in the cocktail of success, we have 50% of information. We need to be knowledgeable about what we want in life. And if we want to do business, we need to have proper information about the business we want to go into, and how we are supposed to do it. We have to have information before we can start off on anything. That one accounts for 50%. And the other 50% is actually implementation, where we have to do what we need to do. We have to make the necessary sacrifices, which are necessary for us to get to where we want to get to. It is very important. As long as we have information and we don't do what we are supposed to do, unfortunately, all those things are not going to work for us. It will just be information. And I've met a lot of people who have good information, good business plans, and business plan is just information, but they just can't put the business plan into practice. They can't implement anything. And unfortunately, with a very good business plan, you will still be ordinary and nothing is going to move. If you don't source out money and start operations and improve as you go, because it is very important. If you don't go back to school and we learn what we need to learn so that we can graduate with a qualification, we are never going to be qualified on anything. That's why we can have knowledge that we need to go back to school. And if you don't make the first payment, or you don't enroll and start paying so that you can start schooling, you are never going to do that. And unfortunately, your life will never change. And that's where most of our struggles are, because we just can't make ourselves do anything. We have information and we have knowledge, but we can't act on it. And it becomes very useless. People with information and who are not acting on anything are the same as people who are illiterate. because we get the same results. The same results is you don't achieve anything. Those with information not acting on it, and those who don't have information and not knowing what to do are the same, because the results at the end of the day is just the same. And we really need to do ourselves justice, do what we need to do. We need to act on what we need to act on. It is very critical. That's what I wanted us to share today and to learn from. It is very important. The secret of getting things done is putting action where our mouth is. We just need to do what we need to do. We need to start doing what we have planned to do. If we have planned to put aside 50 pula or whatever amount every month, put it aside. Just make yourself do that, and it will accumulate into something that we can work on, because those are the simple things that we are supposed to be doing. If we want to start up or on a project, for instance, if you want to start building or anything like that, you just look at where your money goes. And if most of your money goes to leisure or eating out or drinking out and all that, you just cut on that. And the same amount is the same amount that you can put aside and start buying cement and all those things to start building. And I'm not saying taking out everything from the leisure and all that, but we can just take some things from there. And if you don't make yourself do that, don't expect miracles, because you'll be at the end of your life and looking back and saying, Kante, what happened to what I earned? We need to do what we need to do so that we can see improvement in everything that we need to see improvement on. We can actually be the best version of ourselves. We can actually do what we need to do. We can actually live the lives that we desire if we are going to make ourselves do what we need to do, because it is very important. If we don't act, nothing is going to happen. It doesn't matter how much information you have. If you don't use it, it becomes useless. Just do what you need to do. Put action into everything that we have knowledge on. It is very important. Thank you.